Hey everybody, thanks for clicking on the video. This is David Pendleton and this is our second ever video when it comes to, beginner rookie or baby rookie clubs walkthrough. And this one's going to be for the Golf Clash Cursed Swamp 9-hole cup mini tournament. So honestly, I'm pretty excited. I played this account yesterday. I only have one account like this, so this was my first time seeing this course with these types of clubs. And we shot a really good score, minus 15. I'm not going to complain. This is the type of bag that I used in the tournament. In fact, I didn't change any of my clubs, not even one time. I just used this whole bag throughout the entire thing. So if you have a golf bag that looks like this or similar to this will be a good video for you. If you have maybe some slightly better clubs, then you can watch this walkthrough, and you can also watch my other rookie walkthrough that I already have up on YouTube that came out yesterday, to where we have better clubs and we play a little bit more aggressive. But either way, I think you'll get a lot of value out of this video. I'm really excited to do this for the newer players or for the people who are trying to build their alternate accounts up. So let's go ahead and hop into the replays here and show you how we came up with this minus 15. But first thing, if you can please subscribe, if you don't already subscribe already, that would be awesome. I'm approaching 1,500 subscribers. Just help me get there. And please hit the thumbs up button. That way I get a lot of likes. And when people go on YouTube and they search for content, my video is at the top of the list. That's what helps me out. So that's very simple to do. But, like I said, let's go ahead and hop into the replays, and we'll show you how we came up with this score. So hole number 1, now, this is going to be a little bit weird, okay? I only had one shot at this hole yesterday with an extra mile 5. So I decided to go for a rough bump. Now, if you've done a good job at keeping your good balls for tournament, and that's going to be very important, when you're talking about a newer player, is don't be going out there on tour 4, okay, and using kingmakers and titans. You do not need to do that. Those balls are way too good to be using in one-on-one play. Save them up for tournaments, because this is a situation to where if we had a power 3 ball or even a berserker ball, we could just go over the sand and go right onto the green and be putting for the eagle, okay? If you want to know how to do that, go to my other video after this video and watch hole number 1. And you decide which way you want to play it. But here's how I'm doing it for newer players. I am just setting up my target here in the rough, and I'm using 2 bars of top spin with 1 bar of left side spin. And what I'm looking to do here is just have my target on that dark green rough area, and then I pull this one at 20% elevation. And you can see here, we hit the rough and we roll out. But, we roll through the sand there and then onto the fringe. Now, that should happen every time because our driver is going to give us a lot of speed to roll through the rough. But the biggest thing that I would suggest that you do is, if you take this shot, put some left curl on the ball. That way it doesn't even touch the sand at all, okay? And that's hole number 1. Again, I have 2 ways to play it. You can hop over to the other rookie video that I have out and see if you want to try to go over the sand, which is pretty easy to do. It's just going to depend on your club strength and the ball that you have. All right, so now this is going to be hole number 2. Hole number 2, the only wood club that I have is a Viper and a Big Dog. I'm going to take this shot with the Viper using 20% elevation. And here I'm just trying to kind of visualize where my ball's going to go when it touches down and how much curl I need to use. So you can see there that I use 3 bars of backspin with 1 bar of side spin to the right. And I'm using a little bit of right curl. Now, I hit a great shot to the left. So obviously it's not going to go in. It's going to miss to the left. But we need to use a little bit less backspin. Okay, so maybe, 2 bars of backspin and a little bit more curl to get ourselves closer to the hole-in-one. Now, quite honestly, with the Viper, I'm not playing this hole for a hole-in-one. You know, on this particular account, I'm just playing not to screw this hole up and be in the sand. So, you know, take this one for a birdie because there's going to be a lot of other holes that we're able to get extra shots on to boost our score to win the tournament. Hole number 3 being one of those. So, you know, if you're newer to the game, you know, you can kind of take a look at my graphic that popped up there. So 10% elevation and then push to max. So basically what's going to happen here is if you take a look at the wind is blowing north. So when we move our rings to adjust for elevation and to adjust for the wind strength, we're going to be pulling the rings backwards towards the screen, like towards us. And that means we're going to lose distance on our drive. So to be accurate and to get the most distance possible, we're going to pull our rings and then we're going to push our target back up to max. And we can do that because we have so much fairway to work with. It's not like we're going to go into the sand or to the water. So as you can see here, full top spin. I'm using about 1 bar of side spin to the right. And then I'm kind of just pushing my target up to make sure that if I use overpower, I will make it to the fairway. And here I'm adjusting for my elevation. And then I turn the screen back around. And then I push it back up to max distance. Now you can see here I'm using quite a bit of overpower. I'm doing it almost until the bottom of my ball touches the bottom of the target. It's always nice when you hit a great shot on a drive and you don't roll into the rougher sand. So we know this is a pretty good shot even if you hit a slight grate. Brings us on to shot number 2. Shot number 2, a little bit more difficult to dial in when you don't have a club like a sniper. So you kind of have to just visualize where your ball's going to bounce. And I don't have enough experience with these clubs yet to know how fast or how slow the ball rolls after I strike it with a Viper. But here you can see I settled on quite a bit of backspin. You know, and I'm actually pretty happy with that because I know that I'm dead at the pin. So in this situation, all I would need to do to make this shot better is to really take a little bit of this backspin off. So if we watch this, you know, I use about 3.8 bars of backspin, and I'm really aiming just directly at the cup. Then from there, I pull my rings no elevation, hit a perfect ball, and we come in, you know, right at the pin, you know, dead center, but just short. So I need to take off about 1 bar of backspin in the final round, and maybe we'll sneak that in the cup for an albatross. All right. Hole number 4, again, playing with a Viper club, and I would have loved to go for a rough bump, but you know, I'm just not sure how that plays with this club, and with it being a 9-hole cup, I don't have enough qualifying rounds to really test it out. So I just decided to go right at the pin and attack the pin here, just to see what would happen. And I pull this one at 10% elevation with my rings. Hit a perfect ball. But, you know, taking a look at this replay here, I missed to the right barely. And it looks like I unintentionally used a little bit of right curl, which really threw my shot off. I wasn't dead center in the adjustment window. You know, this is one thing you got to watch for if you're a newer player, because sometimes, you know, I've been playing this game, you know, tens of thousands of matches, and I still do this on accident from time to time. So I go here, and instead of being dead center like that, instead of being dead center, look at the right side of my ball. See how it's touching the top and bottom arrows there? Like those little triangle arrows in the corners? But there's space between my ball and the left-hand side. You know, that means I use right curl, and I came in just enough right. So with a regular shot, this might have been a hole-in-one. So, you know, got to clean that up in the final round. Now, this hole is an opportunity for us to drive the green, even with an extra mile 5. It would be a lot easier to use a berserker, but with this being a beginner walkthrough, this is really tailored for newer players. I decided not to go that route. I decided to show you how to play the shot, this hole normal. which is going to be laying up on the left-hand side here. I do use a navigator ball because I want the wind resistance on the second shot. And you can see here, I'm just using top spin with 1 bar of left side spin. I pull this one at 10% elevation, and I use as much curl as I can to the left, but about half of a ball is plenty. If you have a better driver, don't go crazy with the curl. As you can see here, I'm not even close to the sand, and that's why we're using curl, is to avoid getting into the sand. But this leaves us with a pretty short shot to pin for the eagle. The only problem is I have a kingfisher club, which again, I don't have enough experience using this type of club to know how my ball guideline is. So again, I just go with backspin here, and I try to get this thing aimed right into the hole. Now I use no elevation on this shot. I'm just playing it straight up, 0, at minimum distance of my club. And then we hit a perfect ball, which is good. And the nice part is we get this one to drop into the cup for an eagle. So I'm pretty happy about that. You know, 1 shot on this account, and we pick up the eagle there. So that's a good one to get. Brings us into hole number 6. So this is another situation where I'm going to push my target back up to max after we adjust 10% elevation. And again, we can get away with this because there is so much fairway here. Even if I use full overpower, I'm not going to get my ball anywhere close to the water. And you can see I am going with full overpower. Hit a great ball to the right. You know, it is more difficult to hit perfect on a max overpower shot. But, you know, we landed on the fairway, which is all that you can ask for. That leaves us for an opportunity for an albatross. So I was looking for a rough bump here. Clearly not enough club to get that. So I just went with another backspin shot, you know, aiming directly at the hole with the backbone. The nice part about this is you will see some newer players not eagle this hole for sure. But this is a situation to where we're going to be able to eagle it very easily. And then look at that. So we actually hit the pin. So the shot's pretty accurate. You know, but with a backbone 8, you know, I don't ever really use the backbone anyways, but even at a level 8, you know, you don't have a really good ball guideline. So I need to just back up my target a little bit so it doesn't bounce into the pin. You know, we want that thing to bounce and roll into the cup. But, you know, obviously that was a very close albatross shot with these clubs. Now we're going to be playing hole number 7, a par 3 at 10% elevation with maximum distance numbers of our backbone. And you can see here we're getting, you know, a headwind push. So that means the wind is blowing at us, which means it's going to knock our ball down once it touches down there on that fairway. So we need to account for that. All right, so we know now how this ball rolls on the green from here. So all we need to do next is maybe just move our target a little bit to the right-hand side of the cup, and we get ourselves close to a hole-in-one. Now, even for newer players, okay, this is a tournament. And in tournaments, sometimes you have to gamble to win. You know, if you play every single hole conservative, then don't expect to get a gold banner. You know, expect to be somewhere in the middle of the pack. So I'm going to show you one hole that if we're going to gamble on, it's going to be this hole. And you do need a powerful ball like a berserker, but these are free in the game during the golden shot. And what we're going to try to do is a high precision drive. And we're going to try to get this ball as close to the green as possible. But the nice part is even if you mess up this drive, you're still going to birdie the hole. So it's a very high risk, high reward shot, but it's not going to risk you of losing your tournament and picking up a par. So as you can see here, we don't have any room to hit a great shot. We are putting our target on that thin strip of fairway, adjusting at 10%, and then we strike a perfect ball. As you can see here, we made the correct adjustment because the ball landed exactly where we wanted to. And we roll really nicely down here to the bottom of the fairway, leaving us for a very short shot to chip in for the eagle. So this is with a dart. Kind of play this in a medium distance. Put a little bit of backspin on it. Aim it right into the pin. Perfect ball. And we get that one to roll right into the middle of the cup for another eagle. All right. So, you know, those are 3 extra shots, or 3 holes on this tournament that I showed you how to pick up extra shots on. And this one here is hole number 9, last hole. I hope this is helping out. Please subscribe if you haven't already done so, and you can hit that like button as well. As you can see, our opponent is in the sand. If you saw his little graphic icon pop up, don't go in the sand because it's going to ruin your shot, your easy eagle opportunity. So we're just playing from fairway to fairway. As you can see here, this is an easy drive. Don't overcomplicate it. And this is what the shot for the albatross looks like. 0 elevation, pretty much at max distance of our club. Using quite a bit of backspin, combined with a little bit of side spin just to line the ball out towards the cup. 0% elevation. And we come super close again at getting that to fall in. So as you can see on this baby account, I left a lot of shots right at the pin. So we could have done better than a -15, but I do think a -15 is something we can go out there and easily duplicate in the next round. So I hope you found the video helpful. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments. You know, I'm always happy to help new players, or really any player for that matter. And I hope you have a great round. Thank you.